Week, but he's still talking about his old team. Bennett said the Seahawks lost their identity when Marshawn Lynch left after the 2015 season, and then he called out Russell Wilson. Let's take a listen.
You don't want people like a whole bunch of Russell Wilsons, you know what I'm saying? You got to have like one, you got to have 3 or 4 Marshawn Lynches on your team that at any moment, you'll never know what they're going to do, whether they're going to come to work or they're going to drop kick the coach, Latrell Sprewell. You just never know. You can't have a whole bunch of nice people on the sports team. You need one good guy that does everything right, prays and does all the stuff, and then like, hey, let's go play.
Right.
Yeah. And then you need some thugs. That's just how it goes.
Shannon, does Michael Bennett have a point?
Hell no. Skip, you don't need no 4 Marshawn Lynches on your team. Absolutely not. Skip, now, you and I get the gist of what he's saying.
Yep.
And this is why we say football is the hardest sport to win a championship, because it has the most amount of players on a given roster. So you bring basically 53 guys from 53 different walks of life, religion, socio-economic backgrounds, all that. And you try to get together for a common good. I'm a firm believer, and I used to say this about the NFL, you didn't need 1,500 Peyton Mannings, but you damn sure don't need 1,500 T.O.s either. So you need a happy balance. But Skip, this is not about. This is about Super Bowl 49, Skip.
Yep.
And given the history that we know that transpired between the offense and the defense, had we not known the history, we might be willing to give Michael Bennett a pass and say, you know what he's trying to say is that, Russell's a really nice guy. He's going to do everything by the book. And you knew the few players that, that's a little different than Russell. But this is another shot, Skip. This is another shot about Super Bowl 49. And he said, Russell, we lost our identity when Marshawn left. No, you believe you lost your identity when they didn't give that football to Marshawn in Super Bowl 49. That's when you lost your identity, because up until that point, you were a running defensive football team. And for some reason, to you and the rest of those defensive guys, you wanted to become pass happy. Now, a lot of people believe that it was because they didn't want Marshawn to be the Super Bowl MVP. But this is absolutely a shot at Russell Wilson. And I don't think he'll take it as any. Now, I know what he's going to say publicly. But he knows, because he's heard it. He's been there and heard the whispers of the defense and what they've said about him.
Yep.
But this is absolutely a shot. And I get it. You don't need all the same type of personalities in a locker room. But you can't have too many of one either. I don't believe you need 4 Marshawns. Absolutely not. There's enough space for guys to be who they are, as long as the common goal is we're trying to win a championship. But this is absolutely a shot at Russell Wilson, and he will perceive it, what he says publicly, but he absolutely knows this was a shot at him.
I agree. So, I've been covering this league for a long time, and most of the championship teams I have covered or been around or known about had an edge to them. They had a backbone that was built on hellraisers and borderline lawbreakers or borderline outlaws, whatever you want to say, that edgy kind of player. Even the Legion of Boom, not that they were breaking any laws, but they had a lot of edge to them. And it ran counter to the guy at quarterback.
Correct.
The guy at quarterback was Christian, and he wore it on his sleeve. And I think they resented how the coach loved the quarterback and tried to make the quarterback the MVP of the Super Bowl by keeping the game in his hands.
The star of the team.
Yeah. And I believe there's been, in these circumstances, because I saw it with Tim Tebow, some anti-Christian bias working in the locker room, a dynamic where they don't trust. I don't know how you would feel about it, but it's like goody two-shoes. I don't know if you're real. Is there some hypocrisy there? Are you really what you stand up for?
Right.
And I think they saw that some in Russell Wilson, and that they had that there was some friction going on that I still feel was going on in that. It felt split to me.
Well, for me, Skip, the way I approached it, you go to church, you in the Bible study, okay, that's you. Okay, one guy might be financial, okay, that's you.
Yep.
Leave. If I want to know how you doing with your money or what you're investing in, I'll come ask you. If I want to go find a church to do something like that, I'll come ask you. But don't you bring that to me. Because I had a guy say, hey, Sharp, you coming to Bible study? I said, yeah, I'm going to be in the strip club. Bring it to me. See, that was the end of that. Had no more conversations about this. See what I'm doing, Joy? See, I didn't ask you. I know what a church is. I know what a Bible is. So I don't need you to try to bring me anything.
Yep.
So I left it like that. But Michael Bennett, look, maybe on the defensive side, you can get away with a little more rough riders.
Yeah.
You know, because you look at the Oakland Raiders, you look at our Ravens defense, you look at their defense.
85 Bears. Look at them.
Exactly.
Yep.
And the thing is with the 85 Bears is that kind of Jim McMahon embodied their personality.
He did.
Well, on this situation, Russell Wilson is the absolute polar opposite of what they do defensively. And like I said, Skip, there's no question in my mind, had they won Super Bowl 49, I do not believe they would have started dismantling this team. But they're getting these strong personalities out of that locker room.
Yep. So the Cowboy teams I covered from Tom Landry through Jimmy Johnson and Barry Switzer, they would lead the league in making negative off-field news as much as positive on-field news. All those teams, they had their share, more than their share, of hellraisers and lawbreakers. And yet, what team has dominated lately in pro football, last 15 so years? Or Albert Haynesworth or Chad Ochocinco, because you know your locker room that team, and why